Well, welcome to Whitebeard's Kitchen. So what I'm doing this evening is I'm going to do a spicy, crispy chicken burger with a mole sauce for the topping and also for the dip in. Let's get cooking. So what I want to do is I want to dip my chicken pieces into some buttermilk and let them sit for maybe 15 minutes, preferably half an hour. I don't have buttermilk, but just a little trick. So I have ordinary milk. So I'm going to use 300 mils. I mean, I probably don't need as much, but just so there we are, 300 mils. And to make buttermilk, little trick I'm sure some of you know, is you want a couple of tablespoons of just good old lemon juice. Okay, so squeeze that in, get as much out as possible. Don't worry about pips going in. And here's another little piece as well. Okay, so I'm going to say that's maybe about 3 tablespoons of buttermilk. But I'm going to, or buttermilk of, don't listen to me, lemon juice. So I'm going to give that a bit of a mix round. You could use maybe 250 mils, really. Just another squeeze of lemon, why not? May as well get as much out of it. And what I'm going to do is let that sit. Now that I've given it a whisk, use a spoon, whatever, give it a mix around. Let that sit for maybe 10-15 minutes, and hey presto, that should make the milk curdle, and there we'll have our own homemade buttermilk. How simple is that? So what I'm using in terms of chicken, I'm using chicken breast. I prefer thigh, but hey ho, this is what I picked out accidentally. So I just want to get kind of the moisture out of the chicken, so I'm just going to dab it in the flour, like so. Don't worry about the mess, I'll tidy that up. Get the next piece. Make sure that's coated in the flour as well. And I'm going to let that sit just for roughly about 10 minutes. Take it out of the flour, and that will take the moisture out. The coating that I'm going to use this evening, obviously once I have this, these are cornflakes, good old plain cornflakes, good old shop bought cornflakes, cheap as chips. Scrunch them up. Just going to scrunch these up with my hand. So this one would be like kind of almost like a breadcrumb. I'm not going to make it obviously overly fine, so you get the gist. So when I'm ready, I'll show you what spices, etc. I'm putting into this. So I have this scrunched up the way that I want it. So now to add in kind of some of the spices stroke herbs that I'm going to put in to this little dry mix. So in with a teaspoon, and I'm kind of trying to go along a Mexican line as best as possible, not by insulting Mexico in any way. So that's a teaspoon of oregano that I have going in, and I don't want to overpower with spices because I want my homemade mole sauce. I'm going to be obviously using that to put over the burger, and so you can dip into it as well. So there we are. That is roughly about a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. I'm going to put in now half a teaspoon of cumin powder. So there we go. What I'm going to add in is again a teaspoon of paprika, and it's smoked paprika by the way, but ordinary paprika, sweet paprika, you know, it will do either, whatever your choice is. Next I'm going to put in a teaspoon of garlic powder. In we go with that, and in we go then with a teaspoon of good old onion powder. I never understand this stuff for some bloody reason. It kind of clumps no matter how tight you put a container on it. Now, in last but not least, I'm going to put in some salt and black pepper. So I'm going to say probably about 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt going in. to that. Okay. And then probably half a teaspoon of black pepper. There we are. And then just give that a bit of a mix round. Fork, spoon, whisk, whatever you've got your hands on. I've got a spoon. So, is that a good mix? There we are. There. So, that's that stage done. And just sitting in the pot, and I've just warmed it up ever so slightly. I had it in the freezer, and this is great about the mole sauce that I made. You can freeze this, defrost it, yeah, cook it from frozen. So as you can see, that's all ready to go. So we'll heat that up once the burger has been cooked. Okay, so that buttermilk mix, I have added, what do you call it, just a beaten egg into it. You don't necessarily need to do that, that's just me. Now, the flavours, or the spices I should say, that we used for the cornflake dry mix. It's a bit weird, I've never done this before with cornflakes, so usually I use flour, so wish me luck. So what we're going to do is we're going to put more or less the same type of herb stroke spices in, but maybe not as much. So this time only half a teaspoon of onion powder, half a teaspoon of garlic powder going in. Okay, so into that. And also again just about half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper going in, quarter of a teaspoon of cumin powder going in. Okay, I'm not going to add any more salt or black pepper at this stage. So then again I'm only putting in half a teaspoon of the paprika that I added, and say this one's smoked, and then a pinch or two of oregano going in. There we are, that's plenty. And last but not least, a quarter teaspoon of cumin powder as well. I really don't want to, I want to have a bit of a kick off the burger for sure, off the coating. What I don't want though is to overpower it too much, because I want that mole sauce that I have made. I want that getting thing. And here's a little trick, and I've learned this from guys called, or they have a company, they're on TikTok, they're on YouTube, The Golden Balances. He said, and totally agree, and brilliant tip, you know, if you're making a wet mixture and you're adding any spices or anything into it, if your buttermilk isn't coloured, well then, you know, it's not zooped up, spiced up enough. So there we are, that's kind of the colour of that. As you can see, it's turned now, what do you call it, into probably like a pinky colour. So I have my little dredging station set up. I have flour here, I'm not cooking it in flour. What I just want to do is the chicken breasts, I just want to give them a slight dusting, just to take some of the excess moisture off. I have my buttermilk little combination over there, and obviously I have my spiced up cornflakes ready to go. I have my oil on, ready, all heating up. So have the oil, I'm just cooking this in a wok. You could use frying pan, deep fat fryer, whatever you wish. So that's the oil hot. So just a slight dusting, as I say, of the chicken breast into the flour. Okay, just to get some of that moisture off. In to my, which you obviously can't see, into my buttermilk mix, then over to my cornflakes. I want to give this a really good coating. Make sure to press them well down, and I'll show you as best as possible. So really get that completely covered. Shake the excess off and gently into the oil. And the same again with the other chicken breast, which is slightly smaller. So into the flour, into the buttermilk. And once again, completely cover that, make sure plenty on it. And these are reasonably, not overly thin chicken breasts, but you know, they're not overly thick either. So, in with this one as well. Turn that oil down ever so slightly. So, I'm going to let these cook for probably about 4 to 5 minutes, and I'll be back and show you the outcome. So here we are. I'm going to say my oil was a slight bit hot, so obviously slightly darker, but remember it's cornflakes, it's not flour. So cook through. I'm going to put these just in the oven so I can fix my little burger buns, and then I'll show you what it's like when I'm plated up. So I've toasted my burger buns. As you see, I always like things bloody dark, but hey ho, and I do actually. Might burn things here a frazzle. As I say, the oil was a bit hot for the burgers. So I have just ordinary plain mayonnaise. Now what I'm going to do is, on the bottom, is slice 2 slices of pickle on each. I'm not going to make these terribly neat. You know, let's be honest. You know, you want something that's a bit rustic. And then, so what I'm going to do is, I have some jalapenos. These are pickled jalapenos, just that I have made. Pretty easy. Someday, stage or sometime, I'll do that. So, some of those in. Oh, there we are. Just another little one. Now to place the burger buns on, I'll go get them. A bit of my mole sauce has fallen to the side. And last but not least, I should say for the bun, just a little bit of cheese on top. There we go. Press that down, and there we are. And you can see, this is not going to be easy to eat, but it's going to be absolutely bloody delicious. So folks, here we are, the moment of truth. So, oops, already things are spilling out. This is just crispy, crunchy deliciousness. And now to go in for a dip. I'm probably a mess, I don't care. Fantastic. The little kick up, obviously, the mole sauce, I think is up on my nose and everything. It's not overly spicy, the mole sauce is obviously just a nice kick. You can taste the spice coming off the burger, and as I say, I have my oil a bit hot, so lesson learned on that. My God. Right. I'm probably a total mess, so from Whitebeard's Kitchen, I hope you like this messy video. In the meantime, look after your friends. Family first, family, friends. Take care of yourself. See you soon, and rock on. Bye for now. I'm just in heaven. Bye.